Shak, why is there this string here?
This one is to force your beat in the middle of the night. Yeah.
But it's too thick though.
Yeah, you go ha like that. Anyway, so as you can see, hello, yeah. So we have Hanesh here, so we have Zan here talking about snare. Hello guys. So as you may know, our previous episode got cut, was too long, so we
but I don't floss my teeth.
Neither do I. But yes, so as you guys know, our previous episode with our first guest Hanesh was too long, and now it has been cut into 2 parts. So this is an introduction to episode 3 part 2, aka episode 3.5.
3.5.
And you know Hanesh?
I'm not Hanesh.
Not
Hi,
Hanesh.
I'm Zan.
Yeah, and there you go.
Actually, today we have an agenda, right? So our agenda today is actually to review the song by NOFX called
The Decline.
The Decline. Yes. So as per usual, who usually starts first?
This one is Sham's song, so I think Sham
Okay, then
better
Sham
Sham give
is
the introduction.
We talk about the how we came about to the song, I guess.
Oh, how about give the background to the song itself?
Okay.
And
then
why you suggest this song? Yeah.
well, we actually maybe I talk about how we came to the song first.
Okay.
Then I talk.
Okay.
When we did our first episode or episode 0, we talked a bit about punk bands and why or how or like why, not why, more why. Or how, why, or whatever lah. Why punk bands like always play 16 beats? Because if I want to listen to like 1.5 minutes of 16 beats, it's like I just listen to this band. But if you look at that band, the whole album is there. Like what for, yeah? You know?
Who are we talking about?
You
now?
get what I
You're
mean?
laughing like crazy.
I cannot see that band.
Like my take is like if I want to listen to a band, I listen to the band, not a genre. I think that was kind of like the essence of what I was talking about.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like some like let's say for example, if you listen to this song because of the complexity of it or 60 beats, whereas punk bands the trope is always 60 beats. And then I think after we finished that episode 0, we came here, and then I shared with the two of them The Decline by NOFX. And the first thing that is a bit that started, like I guess it's a bit shocking, is the song is 18 minutes long.
Okay.
From
Okay.
a punk band. So that's
Okay.
like and then we watched the live version from start to
Correct.
finish.
Right. I think because it's ironic, right? That punk bands usually like Ramones, very short songs, 2 minutes
Yeah.
plus, one even less than that even.
Correct.
So something like a punk song. I mean, this song has a lot of 16 beats. Don't get me wrong, but they do it for 18 minutes without making it too repetitive. That's one.
Yeah.
While keeping the dynamics variable.
Fun lah, I guess lah.
Yeah.
And I guess later Zan would kind of like talk through about it.
Yeah.
It's not just like 16 beats. It's not just like just 4/4. There's some like ups and downs.
Yeah.
A bit stylistic.
Is it original with the orchestra as well?
No,
But there's some
there's some horns instruments.
horns, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Trombone, if I'm not wrong.
Trombones, yeah.
Trombone.
So that's how we came about the song lah. So I kind of introduced them like, hey, like I talk about the stereotypical punk bands playing 4/4 and like 16 beat, but NOFX being kind of I guess one of the most successful. I guess it's quite weird to say this, but successful punk bands because they've been playing for more than 40 years already.
40.
Wow.
1983.
That is long.
Close to 40 yeah.
39.
39 years
39
close to 40
years
One
this
more
year.
year. 1 more year 40 year. So we that young we're not that old we that young. So close to 40 years, and then they progress more and more, and not just a typical 2.5 minutes of 16 beats. So that's the point that I wanted to prove lah. Yeah.
If you had to put NOFX into a box, right, what would that box label say?
I mean, in terms of genre,
Genre or...
actually, yeah. Oh wow. Okay. When it comes to, I think this is where I draw the line in terms of like the music, because I know, maybe for a bit of Shak, but for both of you guys listen to more of metal, right? Metal is
Classical metal.
Classical metal.
Yeah, I'm no joke, man.
Classical lah.
Classical.
Nice. I got some classical favorite tracks, so we can talk about it later. Classical tracks.
I forget what I said.
Classical. But in terms of like punk, right? Like there's many. Even NOFX coined the term. There's many mediocre bands. They call it mediocre, but like you say, this is that I really hate it when like people have to say like, oh, this band is this genre because they do this, they do this, they do this. It's kind of like, I mean, it's good to have subgenres, but sometimes it's like, what are you guys playing? Whereas like punk rock nowadays is a bit different, like pop punk lah, and it's weird for me singing this now because Shak, you know, I listen to a lot of pop punk, but I actually kind of hate pop punk because of that. It is like so many genres and whatnot. But if I were to really say what NOFX is, right, it is purest form. It is melodic hardcore.
Wow.
I would say melodic hardcore.
Wow, I was going to say skate punk though.
Because like you can say skate punk is, I mean, if you look at what hardcore is, right? Hardcore, in the most simplest terms, right? It's like chants with music, or chants with kind of like rally songs. I would say, like the old school Minor Threat or like Black Flag are like, you know, like we want this, you know, that kind of like shanty.
I think to help them
hardcore.
understand better, imagine Beastie Boys, but with guitars and drums, very hard hitting guitars.
Beastie Boys used to be
So-
hard. Yeah,
yeah,
Beastie Boys
no,
used to be
no, but
hardcore.
give me an example because I don't think you guys know Black
Oh yeah,
Flag,
you guys know
Minor
Black
Threat.
Flag?
Yeah, I heard.
Okay,
of
but
it
if you
also.
imagine Beastie Boys instead. I think Beastie Boys you all
Yeah.
know, right? Beastie Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine that with guitars, very fast guitars and drums. 16-bit to and then they sing all that.
So you're trying to say it's like more like anthemic kind of mob vocals,
Kind of like, yeah,
that
mob
kind of thing.
vocals,
Anthemic with a message lah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So where I bring into it, like as it progresses, of course, songs get faster, songs get louder and whatnot. But NOFX is more like melodic, you know, like more focused on guitars with some like anthemics, some like chants and whatnot.
Yeah.
So I would categorize that like kind of like melodic hardcore, I would say. Yeah.
Would you say that this song is a very good representation of NOFX?
There is one song that I thought was like their best song. Not this like.
Oh.
There's this song called "The Separation of Church and Skate," which is pretty cool. It summarizes what I think punk rock is.
Church and what?
The separation of church and skate.
Oh.
Because you like church and state, right? But they're talking about how punk rock is so safe now. Yeah, it's like literally like how when did punk rock become so safe? Like why is it so tame and all that stuff. But this song, I wouldn't say it is would define NOFX. But it is it's kind of weird. It's like a middle child, I would say. You know, it's interesting, but it is not like at the forefront. Like even for me, listening to the band, like I listened to the band since I was 10 or 11. So what?
very recently.
very easy, like 4 years ago. So like I only got to it like and this was before YouTube. Before like it's all like CDs, you know.
You're giving clues, man.
Cannot lah. Oh, before before TikTok. So when I come back to it, it's like I only heard of the decline maybe when I was 22 or something, 22, 23. So it's kind of like when I listen to it, okay, this is interesting, but it's not like it's not their popular song. It's not like not even a cult. I think it's a cult favorite now, but because the band started in ED3, right? There's not much YouTube going on Spotify. So I wouldn't say this is the best song also lah. And if I were to be honest, it is an 18-minute song, but you can kind of tell it is like mix and match of different songs. They kind of like put together. Yeah, which I can respect. It is super nice. They kind of like put everything together, but they kind of like remove certain parts and then this is one song, this is another song, this is another song. Just that they had the balls to like put it together lah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you've been here for like 40 years, right? Then you said you're melodic
Hardcore.
very hardcore. Was it like true to all the albums or
This,
like the recent ones?
I think,
Because 40 years, right? They went through a lot of phases, a lot of changes in like.
they
the
definitely
government and
became more, if I were to use that term, right, they became more melodic.
all. Okay.
They got more technical. Yeah. Cupcake.
Yes, please.
Yeah, okay. One cupcake coming in.
I'm going to listen to the songs. Like.
Yeah, I think while you guys were talking, I eat then now I talk then Shak eat. But yeah, they got technical. I think I can talk a bit about the history of the band. my Malay come out.
It has appeared.
Technical. Dota. I can talk a bit about the band. So they started out. Started as they are 4-piece band. Initially, I think the first 2 albums they were 3-piece or 4-piece, but during the 3rd album they changed guitarists. And then this guitarist, right, before that they were quite, I would say, hardcore lah. Like melodic hardcore, but it's very like downstrokes, power chords and everything. But once the guitarist came on, I forgot his actual name, Aaron or Andy or something, but they call him El Jefe. This Mexican guy lah. He can shred.
I think Andy. I think Andy.
I see. So basically, I think he's a metalhead. Then he joined the band, and the songs kind of became more refined. And then this came out in the early 90s, late 80s, where punk rock was kind of like dying, but kind of like coming back up again. So they refine the songs. Sedap kan?
Nice, yeah.
Shout out to my cousin Lisa for the cupcakes.
I'll send you the video later.
Okay.
Yeah. Nice, yeah. Oh my god. Want to try it?
I'll try soon.
Okay.
When the song's being played.
COVID, we don't share.
But then we are again.
Steps. What else can I say about the band?
Oh, FYI, El Jefe, right, is the guy playing the trombone in the song. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's he's the guy that plays more lah. Like the other bands are very I would say traditional punk in a sense.
Okay.
Like the guitarist who play octaves lah, power chords, but El Jefe is the spice. Is the Mexican
Wait,
spice,
so
I would say.
he's not a guitarist.
He's a guitarist.
Okay,
But he
guitarist
play
and-
trombone, he play trumpet also.
Wow,
Yeah.
multi-instrumentalist.
So like in the song, right, in the live version of the song, when his part came out, right, he put his guitar down and took out the trombone. Yeah. Then switch back again. Yeah.
Okay.
Is that part. For other songs also, he plays trumpets also. So it's pretty interesting. What I liked about the band is they progress.
Okay.
Like, of course, it is in the vein of, like, still in the same like path of punk rock. But it's quite different lah. It's not, like I mentioned, 16-beat. And that is like, if I were to go back to my rant, right, it's like, to be honest, I feel like in the punk rock scene, wow, confirm kena hate if I say this. Okay lah, just say
Just say, I'll say, I see already, man.
Okay, if I would be honest, not just, okay, especially in Singapore, but not especially, mostly in Singapore, a lot of like posers, I would say, in terms of punk rock.
You're a fucking poser.
And I'm just saying this because it's a philosophical thing lah. Because when I grew up listening to punk rock, it's supposed to be open-minded. But when I look at it, like sometimes I look at the scene, it's quite close-minded lah. Like if I would talk about music lah, if I talk about, let's say for example, our livelihood and whatnot, it's quite like a very tribal thing. You know, they follow one clique. Shak and I kind of know like some gigs, some scenes are very like, oh, this scene only like, oh, has punk scene or whatnot. But by right, if you think about it, punk should be like quite open.
Yeah,
Should be open
gatekeepers, you all fuckers.
Yeah, gatekeepers. So some people are cool, but like again, like it falls back on like, oh, this is punk rock, and then like, oh, they just follow this image or they follow this sound. And if you want to talk about music, right, they only follow, I guess, the hits. Oh, this song fast, yeah, the fastest song they ever played, the shortest song they ever played. They copy that, put that in their music. When you look at NOFX, 40 years, they got a lot of like catalog. So because they are quite true to their music, they really love doing it. At some point of time, they have to explore and they make a 80-minute song. So I respect them for that. But that just why I think goes back to some local bands. They only very shortly, 4 years, 5 years. Then I guess this band. I think it's because of that. They kind of like, punk rock, wow, cool lah, cool. I think it's because of that lah. Cool.
At that moment only.
Yeah. So that's my little rant. But no disrespect to them. I just like dislike them lah. Not I hate them.
The
Like,
Singaporean.
like some Singaporean, some like regional. I mean, a few overseas. Overseas is a bit tricky because I'm not close to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can see behind the scenes also lah.
Yeah. So.
But if you're overseas band, right, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes, so it's a bit hard to judge. But if we are here, we see what is happening behind the scenes, then we can make our own assumptions also lah.
Correct.
Yeah.
I always never understand the competition among musicians. By right, we are actually doing the same thing, whether or not we are playing different genres, right?
Correct. It's this is. I always find analogies like when I talk. It's like, it's kind of like different genres are like different food we eat. When we talk about food, I hear, it's
Nice,
yeah. It's like, let's say this genre is this dessert or appetizer. It's like, okay lah, it's good that you are professional in this, but you have to like mix around, take inspiration from here and there. And that's what music is. You're supposed to be express yourself.
Yeah, and it's not only music for you or your own clique, right? It's music for everybody as well, right?
Correct. You bounce off kind of like ideas. Let's say I play this song and then let's say it's a song about, oh, I hate my parents or whatnot. Some people feel it, some people don't. But if you write this song for yourself only or like, you for show or whatnot, right? You can kind of like see. So that's why I guess... What?
I know
every time I talk, right? Shak always like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so...
And you know who you are, part 2.
So, walao, I feel...
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
Hanesh and I are lost.
Yeah, to be honest, just saying, guys,
rather not know,
before this podcast, right, I guess I'm quite neutral. Am I quite neutral? No.
You're quite intro actually.
Yeah.
But you have your own stance.
Yeah, stance,
For me, right, I mean, when you say you're a bit scared to...
Yeah, I'm a bit scared 'cause
poke
like-
at other people, right? I fuck it only. I just do it.
Yeah.
Toxic.
That's why I play Dota few times only. This one loud. 15 minutes cannot, bro. Stay at the back.
You know, it's fucking boring when you're supposed to have your time in life, right? That's how you 15 minutes, like, what the fuck? It felt very long to me, yeah.
Correct. That time when you were young lah. Right, yeah. Okay, but we're going back. Okay, back to the song NOFX . So
But can I say something?
Yeah.
So you talk about the scene having this kind of negative energy between these kind of people, right? I think I mean I'm from the metal scene, right? Then people from the outside see as like 2 or 3 different groups hanging out and then they all hate each other. But actually, right, I think everyone just loves everyone. It's just probably just one person don't like this person and friends who from this person.
Influence, yeah.
So influence is more like they are friends with them, then they are seen like this because they didn't do anything. Just because you're friend with this person, they assume you're like that.
Okay.
So I don't think so. The scene is like that. I think just the few,
I think it's
a
just
few
like
minorities.
they never like speak out or they never like like just be open about it.
It's like guilty by association, basically.
I don't think so. They're guilty. They just can't be fucked. I think. No, they just people say, but then just got nothing to
To defend.
to
It's-
defend.
it's-
Okay.
But if you're talking about like let's say like in terms of punk rock, it's quite controversial because of that. You're supposed to be express freedom, but like maybe nowadays like with social media, like if let's say someone posts something, what do you call it, LGBTQ issues or whatnot, like I can see these people in the punk rock scene like lah, hate lah, whatever it is, like tradition lah. I mean most of them are quite Malay lah, so I understand lah, but. Punk rock, what? You're supposed to like express, what you're feeling and whatnot. And this is where at this day and age lah. Like a few years ago, it was quite conservative Singapore, I would say. Like we're not open to this, the internet and whatnot. So I guess when people follow punk rock, it's like wow, cool lah. So I follow the image. But now when things are expressed freely, right, and then you start to see that actually it feels like it's all a sham. And actually this is quite nice because I want to talk about this in the song. Like the song, right? I think we intro enough about the song. Like the song has this like different.
Can hear you tapping.
It's good for the effect.
Can show the energy in the statement.
Like this lah. The song kind of like has different parts, right? But there's the ending, right? For me, it's something that I feel represents what a lot of punks go through and how they kind of like feel. The end about like accepting conformity. Because punks always like chaos lah against authority and whatnot. But at the end of the day, right, it's like we kind of have to live. It is kind of like almost like the end of the book in a way. Like some people maybe like they can chaos all the way, But at the end of the day, it's like I know maybe the song the way NOFX played it, it's kind of like a joke. It's like what was the end? It's
Lyrics, is it?
yeah, the lyrics near the end. It's kind of like we know the truth but prefer lies. We know the truth. But prefer lies. That part. Lies are simple. Yeah. So it's kind of like it sounds like a joke, right? It's like, are you gonna play the song? Play the part.
We know the truth, but prefer lies. Lies are simple is bliss. Why go against tradition when we can admit defeat, live in decline?
Be the victim
Of our own design. The status quo built on suspect. Why would anyone stick out their neck?
So it's quite sarcastic if you say in a very youthful way. It's like, why do this? Like it's playing around. But then as I grow up also, it's like, at the end of the day, you need CPF. At the end of the day, you guys get what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking because I opened genius.com the lyrics, right? So sometimes the parts they got interpretation.
I got pop has it the.
So then it says here, right? Annotation: change is hard. Fighting against culture and society is nearly impossible.
Wow.
Why should anyone even try? Just give up and live in the status quo. That's actually how I learned the lyrics.
Oh, nice.
Read up the lyrics for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nice little I guess story in like punk rock, right? The punk scene. Because again, it's so much chaos, right? When you think of punk, maybe to the mainstream, it's like Ramones lah or Sex Pistols or whatnot. But if you think about it, it's supposed to be you're not supposed to define it. It's supposed to be ever changing. Whatever is punk in that moment. So that's why my rant against is like those that took it and like use it as their own lah, like posers I would call it lah. Okay. But ever changing this song is 1999, and like they already felt like they're being tired of in the punk rock scene, in a way. Yeah. And there's another song which maybe I can just talk a bit about. It's by this band called Against Me. There's this song called I Was a Teenage Anarchist. So the song is like I was a teenage anarchist. I was, And then it was like, I had fire. I forgot the lyrics lah, but I had fire lah, blah blah blah. And then later on the song, it was like the revolution was a lie. Revolution was a lie. Then the chorus was like, do you remember when we were young and we wanted to something about forever lah, whatever it is lah. But the idea is the same lah. It's like you grew tired of it. You grew tired of the ever going chaos. You kind of like settle down. And if I were to put it in like Singapore context, it's like, wow, let's screw the government and whatnot. By the end, it's like, I have to pay the bills.
Yeah. So everyone's saying, oh, boo PAP and then vote for PAP.
Yeah. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's like living through
Conformity,
conformity.
yeah.
That's why it goes back to
Conformity.
living through conformity. So,
Or
which
is that fear?
It's.
Could that be fear?
I wouldn't say fear. It's more of like when you're younger, you're scared, you're angry. Then now it's like, okay, I know what's coming. You know, I rather deal with the fear now rather than like, you know, just being angry all the time. So I think this is what the song.
And so like when you're younger, you have more energy lah.
Yeah.
To deal with this bullshit. When you're older, right? Like it's better to just have a simple life and just give in.
Correct.
Less energy, less taxes on yourself. And then you have to take care of other people also, right? Right? Like your folks, your family, and then doing all this, you might just put them at risk. Like you won't have enough money to put food on the table for them, that kind of stuff. When
Yeah,
you're
you
young,
start thinking more about
But
more
that's
than just
weakness,
yourself.
right? That's weakness right there.
weakness.
Yeah, that means you're not
But
fully.
maybe it's not so much of weakness. It's maybe letting go of things that you got no control over,
Yeah,
and only like worrying about things that you can actually change.
Correct.
Like I mean, like CPF and all of these, right? Technically we don't have any control over it. Even the government and so I don't think our votes will actually change anything that is in Singapore because there's a system in place anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's like when people say fuck a certain country, but then they still buy products from that certain country without knowing it. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind
I mean, okay. Let me put it
Shots
another
fired.
okay, fuck capitalism. But you still got your fucking iPhone. You still go to Starbucks. Then what the fuck are you talking about?
You
Yeah.
still buying your Fenders?
It's like
Yeah.
that.
you step woke.
Buying your
Is it?
brass snare.
No, you want to step actually.
No, that
Keyboard.
one is supporting
That was supporting local lah, no,
local.
lah.
That's
But then
okay.
the material from where?
Correct.
Yeah, true lah. It's like that. It's like fuck capitalism, but then you buy from Uniqlo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's- that's why it's like again, punk is quite controversial because of that. It's hard to define, and that's the point. It's supposed to be like freedom. It's supposed to go against everything, which is why again this song is quite interesting because it's released in 1999, and it's before like events of September 11. You know, it's well, this most probably the Iraq War lah. I assume lah what the song is maybe, but we don't know because the song came from like different parts of their lives So how do you kind of like put it together? But I guess that's the backstory and the band also, and kind of like my view on it. Can focus on the song now.
Dude, that's
that's
Like I don't want to like go.
Oh, you don't want to give your intake
That's-
or the
that's like-
Yeah, intake ah, intake.
your
ah.
input.
Input lah.
to be honest, that's like super informative. Yeah,
Is it?
your perspective of
No.
it, right? It just opens my mind. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe about the punk scene, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. About the punk in general.
From metalheads such as yourselves, right? You all got any input about this song? Like, what are your opinions regarding
I
this
haven't heard the
song?
whole song yet. But I have an input about the
first
punks and how they are more energetic last time. So I read I was seeing a documentary or forget what I watched lah, but it was something it says that teenagers, right, we are more willing to take risks because of our brains are some part of our brain, right, haven't developed properly yet. So we don't think about risk as much. So I think the punk scene was born during when people are the age, correct?
Correct.
I would think so.
Adolescence, adolescence.
Yeah.
That's where we are all very we will take anything, we
Fresh,
just
fresh,
do
I
the
guess.
most stupidest thing ever.
Correct.
Walk onto the rooftop, which I had done before, and think what the fuck did I just do? Then as we grow old, right, we think that okay, this shouldn't be right. This is something we shouldn't be doing. But then again, right, probably it's like fear by the society like telling us, no, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that, because we all say certain things like, oh, we wish we can change the world, right? But if we all think of this as individuals, right, we can never change the world. But collectively, right, we can actually change the world. Che, Metalhead saying this kind of thing,
Damn.
Abang
Wow.
Hanesh wow. For president.
Sorry, Hanesh, relating to that, right? I think in the previous episode, I was also saying, like, to all of us, saying that many people complain about the music scene in Singapore. But to think about it, right, who is the music scene? It's us, right?
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes we want to change the scene, right? We have to change ourselves also.
That's why this podcast was born, my friend.
Yeah.
Must have the top.
Can I have the toxic people?
Yeah.
No.
To be
No,
honest.
it's about him saying that this is why the podcast was born. Kau talk shit about people yeah.
No.
How toxic people are born.
Shak, there must always be a balance. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the good one. I'm the shit one.
You're the dark side. We are the
Enjoy, guys.
Jedi's.
The line is there. No, but okay, to be honest, it's good that we have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like for me, it's like we also don't want to be safe. I don't want to talk about this lah, blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But again, I'm going back. I'm not saying that the punk people are like quite rabak or whatnot. Like to be honest, it's good because they're very friendly, very kampung style, But the downside is sometimes it can get a bit. They don't open up to different genres lah. But they open up to like different people. Like I think that's all. I cannot say too much about it also lah. Yeah. Because I myself I may not be in the punk scene for that long also, so I don't know. Like I'm quite open to I guess the middle. Like for me, I listen to old school stuff, but I don't play old school stuff.
Okay.
I mean that generation of the pop punk. But yeah, so my mind is I listen to that stuff. But when I want to kind of join, right? I think I told Shak about this. I joined this other band that play old school stuff, old school punk rock, but it didn't gel well. Because I guess the characters, we didn't have fun in a way. It was more of which is weird. It's wow, punk band the 3-chord stuff and whatnot. We all can play well, but then it's not fun. When I came in, it's we weren't a band that we wanted to go for competitions and what. It's just a normal band, just jam. But at the same time, it's I don't want to spend my money, $25 an hour, just so that I can play the songs that perfectly at home, and I'm not enjoying it. So it's kind of like that, which is weird. So it's hey, this is what I like, the music, old school music, old Bad Religion, Green Day stuff that I like. And then not fun. Then I joined this pop punk band when I was 17 or 18. Not my genre, no. It was easycore stuff. Yeah, easycore, pop punk, Eddie to Remember.
You joined an easycore band when you were 17, 18?
Yeah, my first band with Momo they all.
Oh,
we were called A Common Void Deck. I mean, it's...
Oh, you mean it was easycore?
It was easycore. It's kind of easycore-ish, modern pop punk, I would say.
Okay,
pop punk has different... I think, Shak, you're more pro in this, different stages of pop punk, right? There was the pop punk with breakdowns.
Yeah.
And that stuff lah.
Okay.
Wasn't my thing. It's mine is just downstrokes, 3 chords and everything. But it was okay lah, I can learn, and then it's quite fun. The guys are around my same age, the same age. Then mentality was about fun. Then I joined lah. I didn't like the songs, and I kind of like the songs now, but not into. But at least it's okay, more fun. So being open about it, I think I felt I kind of slept with reality. If I join that punk band, it's maybe I tahan, I like the songs, show off people my patch lah, sell my DIY, all that stuff. Confirm got cool, what do you call it? Cool exposure credits, step. But not fun, Okay. Yeah, I guess that's I can literally that's what the decline kind of what I felt from it living through conformities at the end of the day, at least it's good to have done what you've done in a way. That's how I kind of see the song. Yeah.
I think it's a bit of give and take. For my band, right, I don't like a lot of songs they played. I wanted to leave the band because at one point in time, I wanted to leave because they were playing certain kind of death metal, which it wasn't my thing.
Okay.
Then we decided to go for melodic death metal, play some stuff. So I
This
think it's
was-
give and take.
This was what, in the beginning of the beginning stages?
Somewhere in
or?
the middle.
Ah, okay.
Okay. You guys had a conversation about it,
Yeah.
You guys talk about it. I think that's good, bands actually talk about it.
You have to.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Leave the group chat, don't say a word, MIA.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, for you guys, it's not group chat, right?
Yes. It's private conversation. DM.
It's actually, how band members were I don't know about this band member, but it's both of you guys. So
Put in notes only.
Shak, what's your take on what Syam has just said?
On the
Because
song
you-
itself or punk
No,
scene?
as in because you are also in so-called the same scene as what Syam is, right? Yeah. So how does this song actually relate to whatever he has
Actually,
just
no,
said?
I wasn't thinking about that song from a punk scene point of view.
No.
Because I didn't understand the lyrics, right? So I went to genius.com and then apparently they have notes for some of the lyrics to help interpret what the lyrics mean lah.
I kind of cool actually. I have to check that out.
Yeah, so I did it yesterday and I found out that the whole song, right, is about the political decline, see that idea there, of America. Yeah. Which I didn't know before that. I could tell some parts lah, because they talk about the NRA and all that.
Yeah.
And then, but I actually didn't know the specifics. But after learning, reading the meanings, right, now I'm like, hey, this actually, they're talking about many different aspects of the US government, right?
Yeah.
How they are kind of like ripping off their citizens, like especially the middle class, working class ones.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. To what?
To another country.
Oh. Sorry, then, whatever you say today, right, the whole time, right, I a bit slow to catch on. I don't know why, yeah. I don't know why.
I think it's because I know I'm looking at you. I understand. It's like, but just not like look where you are now. It's like, oh, the school. And then
I didn't get it. No, like a lot of things you say.
I
as well.
can see with the eyes also. So
Yeah, about the political the decline thing, not design. As in, I when I hear the songs also, right, I one lyric that catch me a bit, right, is the one that they say that America is for sale. You can sell it at a profit, or you can destroy it or something like that, right? Yeah, so
tear it apart.
I will assume that it's a more of like them bashing the government and what they were doing to the citizens,
okay.
right?
You want to know what that means?
What does that mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Genius.com, is it?
Yeah, so it says here, right, because you know the voting system in America, there's two houses, two parties, right, Democrats and the Republicans. So, and when they want to win votes, right, they have to lobby for votes. Basically, they have to win the favors of industry leaders to help sponsor their campaign and also vote for them. So usually what they do, right, the people, the industry leaders they are referring to are usually like the fast food industry, the smoking industry, the industries where they deal with like military contractors, weapons, all that shit. So they will actually, what they do, right, is let's say the military contractors, right, say, hey, can you please get me permission to send my military contractors or mercenaries, right, to this country so I can earn more money. If you do that for me, right, I'll vote for you. That kind. So a lot of these things, right, are actually at the expense of the people themselves.
I see.
Like passing smoking laws, that kind of shit, making like smoking more accessible to everyone, that kind of stuff. So that's what they meant by Americans for sale. You just sell it to the highest bidders, right, and then you get their votes. Yeah.
It's quite interesting because I mean in most countries like you can kind of see from a individual perspective, not much you can change also.
Yeah.
I mean, you can kind of like push, but you're kind of like voting for this party to do whatever they hope for you to do, which is kind of like, if you go back, right, it is that like living through, I guess, from the band also, like growing up, it's like, okay, very active in this, but then you realize like, there's so much that we can do. Whether we focus on what we can do, than like what we wish we would want to do. This is what I kind of felt from the song. Maybe it's different for other people but it is that it's like, okay, knowing that maybe this system doesn't work. So instead of bashing it, let's kind of like focus on what we can do in a way.
Is NOFX considered a very political band?
They got political a bit. I mean, definitely before this album, they got a bit political, but it's quite satire also. Like satirical, like I think there's one song called like "Murder the Government." Just like that, like murder the government. That's it. But they got more, I would say, intellectual with it, with the songwriting also. Like as I think the prominent one was I think on the last year of George Bush his term. I think it was it was the last year of the first term. It was 2003 or 2004. 2004, right? 2003, I think. They released this album called War on Terrorism. So that one is like almost all of it is political.
Bush was before Obama, correct?
Yeah. So from 2000 to 2008. 2001, 2008.
2 terms, okay.
2 terms, yeah. So it was, I mean, they at that time, funny thing is, for the punk scene, not many political stuff going on. It wasn't until like NOFX pushed out this movement called Rock Against Bush, where they had like different bands in the punk scene to like, as a compilation, just to make youths be more aware of
the last year or the first term?
It was 2003, yes, correct.
So they were trying
2003, 2004. I think the album was released, the compilation, they did 2 volumes. 2 volumes are not enough.
Okay, so basically they didn't want him to get re-elected right?
Yeah.
That's the reason why he came out at that time.
Correct.
Okay.
But also I think the frontman, Fat Mike of NOFX, I think he went on a few interviews or so. He just wanted, I guess, the punk rockers, right, to be more aware. Because at that time, not many people were political. Like, if you think about it, right, like, you want to talk about politics, right, in terms of punk rock, there are, like, some songs, but those are just songs. It's not a movement. It is not like, oh, this song's like, there's this song by Bad Religion called American Jesus. It's like, it's commenting, social commentary. But there's so much you can do with that. So, like, I think NOFX did this compilation thing. It got like, different bands from, like, US, Canada, whatever it is, to make this Rock Against Bush compilation. 2 times, I think. And then it didn't work out. obviously. Then he did the second term. But at least it kind of like made people aware that okay, punk can be political. You know, it is not just like it's again freedom of expression, right?
But hasn't punk always been political?
Yes, but to a certain extent.
Clash
Just
back then in the UK.
It's different, different. That's what I like about it. It's like different countries have different points in their political like stages. Like Clash had their own thing. US had their own thing, which is like I guess NOFX. So we can hear the next room.
No,
I'm trying to like give a straight face.
You can hear the karaoke, but then also Hanesh has just pointed out that we are 1 hour
Oh
30
my
minutes in.
Yes, yeah.
So we have to do the video thing after this.
Oh yeah.
We probably try to like maybe we video thing we shorten lah, or we don't do.
We wrap this up.
Yeah.
Okay. Any part of the song do you guys want to show the audience?
Uh,
Now
Clapping
Zan
sevens?
got lots of like which part?
yeah, actually I have a lot of
We just
parts,
we do the clapping 7. That
Okay,
one.
so okay, I just give you my view of this song.
Mm.
I would say that when I was listening to this song, right, I realized that this is what punk can do. I was
Okay.
very amazed because rarely do I hear modulations happening. They modulate the song like I don't know how many times in this song. They also have a bit of a time signature change. They are also using different scales and modes, even in one key, and they also added some extended chords. If you guys don't know what's extended chords, I think most of you will know. Is like our conventional chords will be like the root, third, and fifth, right? They actually played seventh, which is more popular in jazz and soul and stuff. So the weird chords that you hear when they're playing the clean parts, right, is actually some of it are actually extended chords. So when I how to say listen to this song, right, it was a nice journey for me musically because how they modulate and how they actually use certain modes and scales and all of these, right, it actually keeps the song exciting. Like what Shak says, right, it's not a very standard 16-beat, just a few chords and then they just repeat it again. Yeah, but I assume they have to actually do a lot of this kind of musical stuff so that it won't be very boring. And I think because we are lack of time, right, what I wanted to do was actually for all of us to actually try the odd timing part.
You can do that a bit lah.
Yeah.
Can do that a bit? Yeah.
We just have to clear this space by 11, right?
Yeah.
That's it, right?
Is it?
Yeah. Can
Okay,
back up 5 minutes on. You know?
Wait,
That's
what's the timestamp?
The timestamp is 6:45.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to say that the topic we were talking about previously, I think that should be carried on in future
Yes, yeah.
episodes.
Of course.
I think it's
Yeah.
important. It's controversial, but
What we're
Yeah.
talking about?
The decline in 2 parts. You know?
the scene
Scene.
and a lot of sensitive
Yeah,
stuff.
actually, I want to talk about against the metal scene because for me, okay, just recap a
Against the
bit,
metal scene.
No, I talk about.
Toxic,
No, no, no.
toxic.
It is more of like I can actually see the unity compared to like other scenes, especially in metal because it's. Shak will be like, what's
No, when you say unity, right, think about programming games.
Oh, Unity, the program software.
Sorry.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like it's different, but it's I would say a bit more open which is weird for me to like say like compare punk and metal, right? I see the metal like quite like it's progressing.
Because we grown up, bro.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why.
shit.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct.
Yeah, that's why. Not Maple Story at 5 years old, you know. That's like good already.
In case of what, to end up what you said, right, have you seen a kid like probably around 16, 17, right, starting up a metal band?
Yeah.
During our
No,
started
like
when
recently.
Yeah.
No, recently. Like in this day and age. Like in this year or this past
Yeah,
1, 2
not
years.
as much as last time lah.
Don't have, right?
Rare, man.
Like for me, right, I know a couple of 16, 17-year-olds, but they started a punk band. You see I'm going at. So yeah.
I guess it's a phase,
Yeah, it's a base.
But I've seen 17-year-old starting a metal band.
Here?
Jam here before, yeah.
Okay, that's
but
good.
not a
that's
lot
good.
lah.
Okay.
But I get what Shai trying to say. It's like it's easily accessible for when you are younger. You're full of like rich and everything. But as you grow older, it's kind of like I guess people call it a phase lah.
Yeah, it's a phase.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah.
Depends on the influence as well.
Okay, go back to the song. The song 6:45 is it?
Okay. So how I actually view this, right? To make it simpler for you guys, right? It's 7 beats, then 8 beats, 8 beats, and then 4 beats. So every time we start the bar, right, we will clap on the first 2 beats. You guys get me? Okay.
Okay, cikgu.
I will show you a demonstration. Okay. So, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Why clap 2 times? Why not just get
Because
one?
the accent is on the.
Oh, that part.
that part.
Okay, one more time.
Okay,
7.
so it's 7, 8, 8, 4, and then it repeats.
Okay,
so
7, 8, 8,
ready?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay,
5, 6,
you guys got it? You guys got it? Okay, let's go. Okay.
I want to see the videos out.
Okay, playing from 6:40
Just cut.
and go.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Somebody said 8 on the number 7.
I did. I was the one, I think. Yeah, so.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
So you're supposed to say out the number and clap at the same time.
I don't know. I was just like.
No, actually, you can say out the number. It's easier for you also.
Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear properly because I could hear more of your conversation. Filter the song away from.
I think, Azan, actually I want to ask you, like, is this, you mentioned like, oh, didn't expect this, I guess, from a punk band.
Yeah.
Would this be like the first time? First time that
Okay.
you've ever heard of like a punk band?
Remember I told you in JC I actually went deep into like pop punk, like Pini Parade and what's the other bands? I cannot remember.
Boys Like Girls,
Boys
Red
Like
Jumpsuit.
Girls, Red Jumpsuit, right? I thought that the songs were I would say pretty easy. Not easy, sorry.
Okay.
It's not musically demanding, right?
Okay.
But when I listened to this, I was like, oh, they actually did a lot of things. They use a lot of musical devices to make it interesting. Like even just that one. I mean, when we were doing that, I was like having so much fun.
I want to see the video.
Yeah.
Hanesh like.
Just cut me out.
Interesting.
Yeah. So just, I mean, like for them to actually have just one part of that odd timing part, right? It kind of break up the song. It makes it more interesting, and then they jump back into the song itself. Yeah.
Correct. And I think knowing you, right, I think definitely one. I guess maybe not about the types and natures or like the modulation, but maybe the bass would be of interest also.
Oh yeah, the bass is amazing.
Every
Especially at
time,
the start, right?
every time Fat Mike plays the bass, right, the tone.
Yeah. You know, he's playing in a very he's playing on a very cheap bass, right?
Yeah, very cheap bass.
Yeah, I think that's what.
You know, the Hanesh and I understand the pedal, that's the cheap pedal, you know, the Dan Electro, the pedal.
Oh my god, we were talking about that last week.
He plays on that same brand on the bass.
Is this a Dan Electro bass? From what you see?
Yeah, it is. It is.
The brown.
It is a Dan Electro bass. Yeah.
The brand though.
That's why. Punk rock, I know, like that.
But can I ask you something? So to end off the podcast, right? Why I see a lot of like punk rockers, right? They are not so fixated on gear. They would rather like play a Squire, a very cheap bass, or a cheap guitar.
Oh.
And then is that like a statement that they want to create?
I don't think so. I think it was out of necessity.
I think to be honest,
Like when they were
can't afford,
younger, right? They couldn't afford. Then they had to
Yeah.
go on tour. They just want to play music, so they just bought go to a pawn shop, buy a bass hanging on or
correct.
guitar off the wall,
Yeah.
and bring it with them. Yeah.
But would they do the same thing for what they wear as well?
Yeah, it's probably that's why again, like it goes back to what I
Working
mentioned.
class,
It's
yeah.
kind of like a progression. So like if you look at like other bands, right? Let's say for example a very controversial band would be people would talk about in the punk scene is Green Day lah. They started off with like the cheap stuff. You can kind of see them progressing, what? Which is I guess the natural reaction. You know, they got like maybe Gibson guitars now. So I guess that's it. Like maybe that's the tricky thing also. Like kids nowadays see like, oh, so that's punk rock. But that's a bit tricky. But if you talk about, I guess the artist, right, it is more of like what you have and then what you can do with it. And how you on top of that, how you progress to the next one.
Yeah, because I always thought, right, like, okay, because punk rock can be very political, right? Then sometimes they talk about capitalism, right? for me, I will understand why it wouldn't make sense, right? If you play like a very expensive Gibson and then you talk about capitalism,
Correct,
it doesn't
correct.
make any sense, right? So I thought that was the image that they want to portray, lah. Yeah.
But it's more of like, in a way, if you see in a different perspective, it's like a success story. Yeah, I made it out. I got rich.
Yeah.
You know, I can buy a guitar now instead of like, you know, buying off at like cash converter. You know,
Yeah.
like this
Cash converters. Yeah.
second hand shop lah.
The flip side is that people say, oh, you're a sellout. You suddenly didn't live up to your values. You went to the mainstream and then you got all this money.
Yeah. But the controversy about gear, I think all of us have it also, right? We always think that, you're getting a new piece of gear or getting something more expensive will make us a better musician.
I
I
guess
think
that's the.
I don't think so, right?
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
a lot.
Nah, not really.
Yeah.
Which is
I
why.
mean, it will help you elevate your sound a bit if you really know what tone you want. But then in the end, right, when you pick up whether you pick up what's the more okay, let's say if you pick up a Gibson and you pick up an Epiphone, if they are both set up correctly, in the end you will still sound like you, right? Yeah. So I think
Oh, so I want to add one thing about NOFX, right? Even though they play a lot of 16 beats grooves in this song, is the fact that they had something to say. If you're gonna play 16 beat, fuck yes, fuck society, I love you, fuck so hard, fuck yes, I'm like, fuck lah, you want to say, just go and see.
Shak, I bet that will be one of the parts where we will have our highlights of you doing sing.
I love you, I'm gonna fuck you in the ass, yeah, bring my trailer trash, fuck yes.
But some people like that shit.
Yeah, something like that. Okay, why? Why you have against like the
I guess I don't
The
like
person who
I
said
mean,
it like that shit lah, actually. Hanesh, you were saying it, right?
I like the doing it action part.
Alright guys, and that has been the sauce for today.
Oh.
Oh, we're gonna end right.
Hanesh, you
Oh,
want to say anything?
Yeah,
Oh wait, sorry.
You forgot about Hanesh.
Toxic. This one, I don't like toxic.
Before we end off,
Well,
Hanesh,
actually, I
anything
have
to
to say,
say?
like, I'm very happy that I joined you guys. in this
Hey!
It's fun, sir. Hey, you guys should try it out.
Hot sauce and potatoes. No, maybe hot sauce and maybe French fries or something.
Yeah. I think future episodes we're gonna have like actual sauces, right?
Yeah.
We got some hot sauce lah.
Actually, I
Some
also like the
sauce,
fact, right? I didn't expect to be talking about games in this podcast. I like that, yeah.
Yeah. I enjoy that.
Only
Maybe
toxic
not for
people
me
do
lah.
this kind of thing, they go out.
Yeah. Hey, Hanesh, I think like we don't talk about games, right? Next time. We don't talk about games. Yeah. It's not like Blizzard. Yeah, what's Blizzard? Singapore hot, what?
Someone talk about Blizzard first, not me.
No,
I just
I talk about Blizzard, but then
I talk about Dota first, right?
Yeah,
it was me,
exactly.
it was me.
the most I can contribute is I tried lah Dota,
Yeah.
but cannot.
It was me. I started the gaming topic. Okay, it was me.
Bottom lane, I don't know. Bottom lane attack. I don't know what it is. It's like I played the AI with like
Bottom lane attack.
Yeah, like okay, bro. I just attack lah. I don't know.
Rampage. Rampage.
Know how many times I died in the
KO.
game? You know, like apa?
Wait, this was 2 days ago, right?
This was a few days ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Whatever shit they say.
Investment is
Man,
different
in
investment.
case you guys don't know, right, it was so hard for me to pull us back into the topic.
Is it?
Yeah, no, but it was fine lah. Yeah, without
Okay.
disrupting the flow.
I think we definitely. I mean, in the next episode we can talk more about the scenes. I guess.
Yeah.
I think when Hanesh talk about it, it's quite interesting lah.
Alright,
Hanesh,
Hanesh,
you have a song?
Can you introduce the song to us?
Yeah.
For this episode?
You wanna discuss again? You wanna go with the most Mr. S song?
Your choice, man.
Choice,
Your
man.
choice.
Yeah,
I
choice.
think the key thing is don't overthink out. Alamak, we like the song. Just
First thing on top of your head.
Yeah.
Don't be like Shak. Shak overthinks. The song.
Yeah, I saw things, but not toxic. Actually, I have 3 songs in. I have like 2 bands and a song in mind.
Whack aja.
One song is one band is More Specificum S. It's a band from Finland. They are amazing, lovely death metal band.
And they played on your one of
Yeah.
your songs.
They're actually famous. Then I don't know how we managed to get contact with them. We had a mutual friend who knows them as well. Then second band is Pain of Salvation. I just love how their music makes my emotions reach a certain level.
Jingle.
You just sit on bed and
Yes,
listen.
Emma.
Wait, what's the second band called again?
Pain of Salvation.
It's the one you asked listen to that day, right?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay,
the
okay.
piano.
The folk rockish kind of vibe.
Yeah,
okay,
right.
Maybe a mix of
I
quite a
think we
number.
can do
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
next podcast. Can you give us one song each? From top of your head? From top of your head.
Now?
Yeah, no, top of your head. Don't think so, don't too much. Okay.
More Specificum S. The song which has been in my playlist recently is Death is Just a Beginning. The
Okay.
song is killer.
Death is
Okay.
just the beginning.
Then Pain of Salvation, I like the song Sisters because the piano riff is very. It makes me go emotional for some reason.
Wow.
Okay.
Another band, right, is Devo. Devo is a old school band, I think 1960s. The song is What a Beautiful World.
Okay.
Yeah, sounds very happy, right?
Yeah.
But
But at the end, right, it's amazing lah. It says like, let me just say it. So the lyrics is like, oh, what a beautiful world, blah blah. And he keeps saying, what a beautiful world. And then I think the last chorus, like, say, what a beautiful world for you, not me.
Wow.
Yeah. It means special lah.
When you say what a beautiful world, I thought it was like some jazz standard or something. And then
I have a feeling is this gonna like when we had our songs, right? It's like is it gonna connect to a heartbreak or not? Because
No heartbreak.
No, wait, alamak.
that's the difference between the metal guys and the
More like heartbreak to society. I guess.
loss
I
of
think-
hope and stuff. Okay, guys.
Thank you so much, guys, for staying all this way.
Yeah.
That has been the sauce, you perennial punanis. And this is the end of episode 3.
We are the potatoes. This is Shak.
hot-
This is Hanesh. This is Sham. I'm Zan. Bye bye, guys.
Bye. Peace out.